Max, thank you very much, and it's an honor to be here with Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, who has been from day one a vigorous defender of Social Security. Before I get into my remarks, I just want to stress with you what I think all of you already know. What has been going on in this country in the last 40 years has been a shrinking of the middle class. Millions of working families all over this country are struggling to keep their heads above water economically. In my state of Vermont, and I have no doubt that it's true in Rhode Island and every other state in this country, we have elderly people who every single day make the choices about whether they're going to purchase the medicine that they need, whether they're going to heat their homes in a cold winter, whether they're going to buy the nutritious food that they need. And those are the choices and the reality of life for millions and millions of people. And as a great nation, that is not what we should be doing to some of the most vulnerable people in this country. And I want to thank all of you personally for your efforts to defend seniors, to defend people with disabilities, to defend vulnerable people, and protect them. That's what America should be doing, and I thank you so much for doing that. And I also want to thank the National Committee year after year for their outstanding grassroots work. That's how we turn things around, because you go out, you knock on doors, and you get petitions. Today, we have a retirement crisis. Only 1 out of 5 workers in America have a traditional defined benefit that guarantees income in retirement. Over half of all Americans have less than $10,000 in savings. You know what that means? That means you got an automobile accident, means you have a divorce, means there's an illness. Where do you go? And when people talk about why the American people are so angry or stressed out, that's why. They're living on tenterhooks. 2/3 of senior citizens depend on Social Security for more than half of their income, and 1/3 depend on Social Security for almost all of their income. What does that mean? It means that we have people in Rhode Island, in Vermont, Massachusetts, California. They're living on $13,000, $14,000 a year. Now, I'm not quite sure how you live on $13,000 or $14,000 a year. But one thing I do know damn well is that you don't cut those benefits, you expand those benefits. Before the creation of Social Security, about half of our nation's seniors lived in poverty. Today, the number is too high, but it is about 10%. In other words, Social Security has had a profound impact on lowering poverty rates for seniors. Yet, despite this enormous success, the Republicans in the House made a rules change that will make it easier for them to make huge cuts to this enormously important and successful program. We have got to send a very clear and loud message, and that's what your petitions have done, to the Republican leadership in the Senate and the House. Stop manufacturing a crisis that does not exist in the Social Security disability insurance program. Stop trying to pit senior citizens on fixed incomes against the disabled. Stop rigging the rules to make it easier to cut Social Security benefits for the most vulnerable people in this country, while providing even more tax breaks for millionaires, billionaires, and the most profitable corporations in this country. What's going on now, and Sheldon and I are on the Budget Committee, what I have no doubt what we will see is an effort in one way or another to cut Social Security and Medicare, and at the same time give more tax breaks to people who are doing phenomenally well. Does anybody in America support that? Not really, but they get away with that because many Americans don't know what's going on. The skyrocketing increase in wealth and income inequality over the past 3 decades has not only hurt millions of Americans and caused the middle class to shrink, but it is also hurting Social Security. Today, the Social Security Trust Fund has a $2.8 trillion surplus. So when people tell you Social Security is going broke, you look them in the eye and you tell them they're not telling you the truth. Social Security can pay out every benefit owed to every eligible American for the next 18 years. But, listen to this, if income inequality had stayed at the same level as it was in 1983, in other words, if we had not seen the shrinking of the middle class and the growth of millionaires and billionaires, Social Security would have $1.1 trillion more than it does today, and it would not just be solvent for the next 18 years, but for the next 38 years. You'll follow that. In other words, it's not just that income inequality is wrong unto itself. It has significantly hurt the lifetime of Social Security. Instead, more than $1.1 trillion has been pocketed by the wealthiest people in this country instead of going into the Social Security Trust Fund. This is the Robin Hood principle in reverse. What we're seeing is an effort to take money away from the most vulnerable people and give it to the people on top. And now we have the ugly situation that because inequality has reduced the Social Security Trust Fund and shortened its solvency, some of my Republican colleagues want to cut Social Security benefits to additionally hurt people whose wages have already declined. Follow that? It's a remarkable phenomenon. Social Security's lifetime gets reduced because of income inequality, and because it is reduced, they want to cut it even further. They are giving us two options: either cut Social Security disability benefits by 19% or cut the Social Security retirement benefits of current or future retirees. Let us be clear. Neither one of those choices are acceptable, and we're not going to accept them. Over the short term, we have got to do what has been done 11 times in the past under Republican presidents and Congresses and Democratic presidents in Congress. Rebalance funds between the Social Security Retirement Fund and the Disability Insurance Fund. Ain't a big deal. It's been done non-controversially year after year after year. Doing this would make sure that Social Security retirement benefits and disability benefits could be paid for the next 18 years. And over the long term, at a time when the wealthiest people in this country are doing phenomenally well, we have got to make sure that millionaires and billionaires pay the same percentage of their income into Social Security as middle-class workers. Right now, a Wall Street CEO who makes $18 million a year pays the same amount into Social Security as someone who makes $118,000. That is absurd. So if we start raising that cap, we can start at $250,000. We can extend the life of Social Security for many, many decades. All right, so let me just conclude. We have a program which is enormously important. We have a program that is supported by the vast majority of the American people. We have a program that Republican leadership wants to cut in order to give tax breaks to the very wealthy. And you know what? We ain't going to let them do that. And I thank you very much for the enormous support that you have shown to this program.